Welcome, BTC community, XRP community, gold community, crypto community, DLT community, blue crew community, all the communities out there. Welcome everyone to another DLT crypto charts. Well, late night DLT crypto charts and news stream. Good seeing y'all. What is up? Miles Parker, Lady Enigma, Texas Crypto, Esper Hunter, Legendary. Guys, appreciate your support. Welcome, guys. Good having you guys out on this late night, at least for me, over on the West Coast. But wherever you are, I hope it's going well. Good to see 7 viewers and 7 likes already to start this stream. You guys are awesome, man. Wow. You guys are coming in hot. What is up, everybody? Guys, thanks for tuning in. Let me give you guys, or tell you guys what's up, what's going on in the past hour here. Oh, guess I gotta log in. Here we go. We got a EWT Energy Web Token doing a 9.42% jump. Ocean Protocol with a 5% jump in the past hour. Algo's doing some things. Man, Algo, it keeps getting lower and I keep hyping it up, and I know that's terrible, but I feel there is some really good fundamental use case right here. Unique coin with Algo for sure. Past 24 hours, you got XDB looking to get back to a penny. Looks like we're seeing some selling pressure here, man. Overall, pretty red. In the past 7 days, Octus 12.92, Celsius was at 140, now at 136, and UOS coming towards the downside as well. Let me give you guys a preview of the news we have for tonight. Gonna kind of take it easy a little bit, not too much news tonight on a Monday. Excited for tomorrow. We all know there's a big event tomorrow, but it's not the end of it all, right? We all know there's lots of games at hand, lots of invisible hands at play. It's going to be theatrical, I bet, nonetheless. So, Huawei's, I can't really pronounce this correctly, but their new smartphone to support the digital yuan. We also know Huawei is connected with, the major Chinese payment providers, which are also connected to what we talked about in depth today, Wang Lian. So this is if it's talking about CBDCs, it's talking about Huawei or anything related to Wang Lian, which I happen to believe is like China's version of the Interledger protocol, but they're calling it Wang Lian, just in the same way the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is calling, trying to bank 2 billion of the unbanked in Africa with Moja Loop, right? Moja Loop being that kind of center provider using Interledger protocol as well. Ripple, PayPal, and Twitter join coalition calling for fair elections. Australia's central bank kicks off CBDC research project with Consensus as partner. More crypto banks incoming, says OCC's Brian Brooks. A post here by Chamber of Digital Commerce. We know they're pretty close ties with Ripple, dating back a while back, right? And Ripple have been featured in the Future of Money segments before. Interested to see what Michael Spitz have to say right here, and a connection to what Chris Larson brought up back in 2018, and then a continuation of that going into this Twitter post. And then we'll jump into his for right now, but I thought it was pretty interesting tonight, you guys, and we're just going to jump into a little bit of speculation here. So take whatever I say with a grain of salt. Once again, I'm not a financial advisor, not a pro trader by any means. I'll never tell you guys what to do. Just having fun on this channel, hanging out with the Blue Crew. And to any new subscribers, appreciate you tuning in, of course. So going back here, you got Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you got the New York Giants playing tonight, and it's been interesting what's been going on with Florida teams right now in sports. A lot of Florida teams have been making it to the championships, and then a lot of Democratic heavy states or cities have been on the other side of it. But this one, I thought it was interesting because this is a crappy team, the New York Giants. It's not like they're playing in the championship. Tampa Bay might actually go to the Super Bowl, but what I thought was interesting is the night before the election, you have basically a red team versus a blue team, right? And this game went down to the wire. Basically was decided by the last play, which was a 2-point conversion. The Giants had a chance to tie it, but due to a technical issue, the game was called in favor of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I was saying, just for fun, what if this is like a preview of what's to come tomorrow? Maybe it does go down to the wire, but maybe due to a technicality, Trump continues, the red wave continues, right? And just a little bit of speculation there, you guys. I'm just bringing it up because it's just fun to speculate. So, yeah, 25-23, close game. Shouldn't have been close at all, really. You got a 6-2 team versus a 1-7 team, but you know what? They still competed and made it happen. But interesting also with the symbolism on this specific logo for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the significance of that logo as well. You could speculate on that for sure, but there's a lot of other crypto channels that do that. So let's jump into a chart instead and look at what's going on with XRP. So XRP has basically fulfilled most of this bat formation that it was kind of the symmetry of it all right there. It just happened perfectly. What is hopeful here though is that we don't want to close here because that is a newer low. That wouldn't be too good of a thing to see. You want to try to see some selling pressure. There's still a lot of time on this specific candle. There's, it's at 17:50, 17 hours left for this candle to close. But you would like to close basically around here at the 23, ideally at 23.28 above there. You would want to close there, and then maybe you would see some bullish divergence. But right here where we're at, you're still at a very deep retracement point from your initial impulse. It's almost close to full retracement at this point, and you're going to be testing this support line again of what was once previous resistance and treating it hopefully as support. You are getting some buying pressure around here, and we'll see what ends up happening with this next coming day on Tuesday. But there's still hope is not lost just yet. You still have a chance at 21 cents even to still bounce up and see that higher upside. If you look at the long-term view of it for XRP here, go left to right on fibs. I'm just going to do candle closes for now. You're at around that 61.8 point retracement. You can even afford to go lower down to 20 cents for XRP. Even down to 17 cents again, but at this point 20 cents XRP could be in the cards. That would be the ideal golden retrace zone for the 61.8 point retracement in the long term. But even right here is in the golden retrace zone, so we'll end up seeing what happens, man. A lot of other global factors are in the game right now, so depending on how those go, that maybe the sentiment of the market will also go in that direction as well. A lot of people have different opinions about which way this one's going to be going, huh? But so far in the charts, looking like we're starting to build up some more bearish pressure. We did have that bearish pressure sell off for a bit. You had some buyers coming in, some gains being made, and now it looks like the selling pressure is coming back in, and looks like you're breaking support of this this recent decline that you've been having. So you're down to a full retracement already from your initial impulse up all the way down to your second impulse. Probably going to test 21 cents again, depending on how this daily candle wants to close. But alright, let's get to our first piece of news. What is up, Daniel XRP? How you doing, man? Guys, 11 likes and 14 viewers. Infinite growth in the house. What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Yeah, a lot of FUD going on around. I mean, you guys do your own research, right? And you guys do what you think is best at the end of the day. So, I know the Blue Crew tries to keep themselves safe in terms of their digital assets, making smart investments, hopefully. Last Trump rally is almost over. Only way he'll lose is if there's serious cheating. Legendary, we'll see, man. We'll end up seeing what ends up happening. It's going to be like, nothing's for sure decided really until going into January. I mean, obviously tomorrow can decide a lot of things. But 2020 has been a whack year, and we'll see if this ends up getting extended somehow, if the circus continues, if the theatrics continue. Let me get a sip of water and then we'll jump into this article. Appreciate the Blue Crew tuning in, by the way. 13 likes already, you guys. Damn. I mean, I'm feeling excited, dude. I am feeling so excited about the future of this space. I know it's not smart to let your emotions get in the way in terms of investments, man, but after reading a lot of the stuff about what we went through in today's video, especially in terms of these clearinghouses, the DTCC, Accenture's love letter about Ripple, basically, the way Interledger Protocol is basically going to be the standard for the internet, the standard payment rail, standard plumbing for the internet. And we're going to be hearing from Chris Larson really soon about how important it is to have that plumbing already set, right? And then we even heard from Accenture themselves. This isn't just like an XRP investor like myself or anybody else just saying this. Accenture themselves saying that it would take a long time. And at the time that they posted, that was in 2016, they said that it would take about roughly more than 5 years, or around 5 to more years for their vision to be complete in terms of completely replacing the financial system. Who knows if they were expecting, 2020 to happen? Who knows if they weren't? But at the same time, it's quite understandable because crypto is still in its infancy, you guys. We're only talking about pennies in this market. We're not even talking about mass adoption yet, and that's not going to happen rapidly. It's not going to happen in a day. It's not going to happen in 2 days. This is something that builds up over time. Cesar Alvarez, how you doing? Only in Cardano. Oh, dude, ADA is nice too. Super FUD day, like what I'm going to do, sell. Yeah, exactly, right? It's just a lot of fun. You know, when you see all that fun on Twitter, you just go, man, it's just not fun looking at Twitter today. So you just bounce from Twitter and then go look at something else, right? Need to order me an LEPAL ASAP. Miles Parker, I hear you, my man. Jeff in the house. What's up, Jeff? How you doing, dude? Guys, 13 viewers, 13 likes. Appreciate y'all. Any new subscribers, appreciate y'all for tuning in. And, Cesar Alvarez, you got yourself a wrench right there, my man. Welcome to the Blue Crew. With the wrench comes great responsibility. Use it wisely. Everybody, welcome. Cesar, welcome, dude. Cardano holder there. ADA. I like what ADA's doing too, man. I like what they're doing with all these collaborations that they have going on amongst other blockchains as well. I like the companies behind them. I like definitely, we care about the real boats here on this channel. So Cardano definitely seems like a real boat. That's 1414. I like that, Van Life Biker. What's up, man? How you doing? Guys, how's everybody doing? Good seeing y'all. Good chilling with the Blue Crew, as always. How about we jump into this article? See what Huey has going on. So Huey, definitely one of the major companies in China. Definitely heavily connected with Alibaba and Alipay and WeChat Pay, for example, right? and now their new smartphone to support the digital yuan. Tech giant Huawei has revealed that it's ready to launch the Mate 40 smartphone, which will be equipped with a built-in digital RMB hardware wallet. The digital yuan seems ready to launch as Chinese multinational tech company Huawei disclosed that its new smartphone will have a built-in wallet for the digital yuan. Even better, right guys? Right? Since they're going to be requiring you to use these CBDCs, for example. Now you can make your phone the payment service provider, or the payment, if you're going to be tracing payments, right, and using these CBDCs to make it easier to trace payments, why not even better to have the wallet on the phone? You're carrying it around everywhere with you. The wallet will be traceable in and of itself. Any transactions that you receive will go to your phone. Your phone is your new wallet in this world, and definitely in China already. And you're seeing that it's already going to be coming in this new stage of their phone. It's going to be releasing a chip, or the hardware wallet already in your cell phone, basically, for your digital yuan. According to the announcement, users will have full control while using the new initiative. Also, it disclosed that users would be able to perform dual offline transactions via the new smartphone. Huawei noted that the new Mate 40 is the first smartphone to feature a digital RMB hardware wallet. The company added that it would also give users the ability to send funds to one another just by touching their mobile phone together. Huh. And no friction to it, right? It doesn't matter what payment provider you're going to have. They're all connected to that Wanglian system, right? Going to be providing interoperability. So now you're just going to have to touch your phones together. It can cross platforms, fluidity, right? More convenience, making customers want to use the internet more, wanting to use digital payments more. Because that's what's going to happen, guys, and that's what is happening, is making the internet is evolving. Tech is evolving to become more convenient for us, and it's only going to continue to do that because it's going to keep us using it, and the more we use it, the better it's going to become, and the more attractive it's going to become, the more entertaining it's going to become, the more we can't get our eyes off of it, right? And that's what they want. They want all your attention, whether it's light or dark or good or bad. In this perspective, that's what it looks like it's happening here, is just, you know, tracing, collection of data transfers, transactions, contactless payments. Now you can just be touching your phones. You don't have to touch or exchange money with hands anymore, right? Interestingly, active internet connection isn't necessary for a transfer of funds to happen, meaning even when offline, users can transfer the digital currency by just touching their mobile devices together. About the Huawei Mate 40, according to the China multinational tech firm headquartered in Shenzhen, the new smartphone is one of a kind. In addition to its integrated digital yuan hardware wallet feature, the smartphone boasts other unique features. According to the Tech Radar, the Huawei Mate is the latest from Huawei. It is also the first Huawei smartphone to use of the 5 nanometer chip tech. Notably, the 5nm chip enables more transistors to be packed up into a single chip, invariably increasing the capability. Huawei says the CPU in the Mate 40 is 10% faster than that found in the Snapdragon 865 Plus, and the NPU is 2.4 times faster, and the GPU supposedly 52% faster. Additionally, the new Huawei Mate would not be featuring any Google mobile services features. There's no plan released for the Mate 40 for the United States. This can be traced to the ongoing China-US trade war. But you can definitely assume that there is going to be interoperability amongst these systems. You know, you will be using a Google phone, for example, or something that is, because that's what it's going to be, right? It's going to be having, you know, this country makes this type of brand, and this country makes this type of brand. And let's say if we're traveling to each other's countries, how are we going to be able to use, you know, our brands with theirs, but still provide that seamless payment experience? And I think that's what's going to be happening with these new age phones, right? So you'll have your phones that are made in China, and only people in China may want to use them or whatnot. Then your phones that are made in the US, and people in the US are just going to be wanting to use that, but they're going to still be able to interoperate. You're probably going to have that feature of where you can just touch your phones together like that and exchange a payment and whatnot, or you can just be, you know, a couple of feet away and whatever, and just swipe up and then it sends the payment directly to that phone or whatnot. China digital yuan to launch soon. When the new Huawei initiative, all indications suggest that China's digital yuan is close to its launch. Similarly, a report by Reuters suggests that the digital yuan is currently in the testing stages. Notably, the People's Bank of China, in line with its mission to unveil central bank digital currency, recently disclosed a draft law to regulate the digital yuan. The draft law indicates that digital yuan is designed to replace cash in circulation. So crazy, right? Also, retail and commercial banks will play a major role in the distribution of the digital currency among users. Both commercial banks and the central banks will possess databases that keep track of the flows of currencies from users to users. Meanwhile, it's worth noting that several other central banks and global financial institutions have also indicated plans to launch a CBDC. The Bahamas recently launched the sand dollar, right? Keeping track of the flows of the currencies from user to users. So it doesn't even matter at this point if you even have, for example, let's say you want to hold a certain cryptocurrency on your phone or whatnot. Does that mean it's going to be automatically traceable no matter what type of crypto it is, because it's going to, maybe it's going to be somehow connected to this hardware wallet of the digital yuan, that somehow it'll, no matter what, be pegged to that digital yuan, so thus that crypto or that alternative currency will always be tracked. What's up to everybody in the chat? How you guys doing? IBM has the quantum computers. Don't ignore them. I'm not ignoring IBM. IBM is definitely big time. Lots of connections with Ripple through IBM, and IBM with Stellar as well. But yeah, people like to think that IBM and Ripple are competing against each other. IBM is part of is probably implementing Interledger Protocol as well, right? If we look at the W3C members list, you got Amazon, right? You got Alibaba Group, which already gives away that Wang Lian is probably the W3C, the Interledger Protocol that we've been trying to connect. We're still waiting for that one last bit to say that it really is Interledger Protocol that is Wang Lian. Still waiting for that last bit. But right here, you have Alibaba Group, part of the W3C, potential ILP implementer, Amazon, Apple, AT&T, a lot of big names, right? And then if we scroll down, you got Huawei. We were just talking about them right here, right? IBM Corporation. So lbry, a member of Ripple, had announced that 300 plus members are of the W3C are implementing ILP, and they are part of a lot of the big time groups, W3C web payments groups, or web what was it? I think it's the web payments group. So either way, you know, XLM is definitely going to have its place. I think XLM, personally, I'm going to be taking, I don't think XLM has a fast track just because of IBM to being successful. I think XLM is still going to take some time. I mean, when it booms, I think XRP and them are going to boom together. I think they're definitely interoperable. There's got to be these other payment rails, right, to create a strong quantum financial system where you're allowing for that level playing field. The thing is that this, and it's funny, the currencies that I'm interested in all have a similar function and all kind of have a similar fee in terms of how much they cost to transact with. And you got XRP, XLM, HBAR, Algo, all very similar in the transaction speed, all very similar in the fee that they have. Even Cody, right? So I'm definitely interested in projects like that, and IBM definitely, without a doubt. IBM might be the biggest player in the crypto space, in the blockchain space. They are a $98 billion company, right? In their valuation. I do bring up that Ripple at one point did have $150 billion plus of XRP at their disposal, and that's not excluding just investments from other companies into Ripple. So I definitely think IBM is very well aware of Ripple, and definitely in a possible partnership, and there's NDAs that are disclosed with that. I think there might even be news of IBM using Interledger protocol. Give me a second. Yeah. So yeah, Hyperledger Quilt. Let's see right here. Amazon, IBM, Microsoft, Oracle, and SAP to interlink their cloud-based blockchains. The keys include Ripple's Interledger protocol (ILP) and the creation of new cryptocurrency, the Hyper token. Interesting. Hyper token, eh? Yeah, Ripple's ILP white paper. Hyper token, huh? Interesting. Oh, this was on April 1st. Of course, dude. I was like, wait, this is too good to be true. This is some stupid, like, news. Of course it would be a freaking April Fool's article. I was like, huh. Understanding Hyperledger, Interledger, and their role in future payment systems. Many financial institutions and companies around the world are exploring blockchain technology for international payments. The Hyperledger project is a collaborative effort to define and develop industry standard blockchain technology. Companies that have contributed software include IBM, Digital Asset Holdings, R3, right? Interledger connecting a web of ledgers. Instead, it focuses on connecting different ledgers, which is designed to enable communication between different international payment systems around the world. Any ledger that should be able to pay any payee quickly at a little to no cost. ILP originated around Ripple. ILP and the communication protocol formats that allow the World Wide Web to exist, enabling information to flow freely, instantly around the world. As the developers note, the situation with payments today is markedly different. Sending money today with a single payment system is relatively simple, fast, and inexpensive, right? So they always keep saying there's not going to be one network to win it all, right? But then you read things like this, and it's like, what do you mean? There is going to be a standard, right? Just in the way there is a standard for the internet. So, let's see. Sending money today with any single payment system is relatively simple, fast, and inexpensive. However, moving money between systems is cumbersome and slow, right? To truly become a standard, ILP would have to become widely used for applications that are not directly connected to Ripple, its original developer. As a step towards that goal, Ripple made ILP open source, contributing it to a new Interledger project that is now hosted by the Linux Foundation. There's now also a group within W3C, the Web Standards Organization, that's discussing Interledger for payments. Right. Interledger's a very big deal. This, I think, the biggest contribution of distributed ledger technology and blockchain to like the internet wouldn't be evolving if it isn't for Interledger. That's what I'm trying to say. I think it's one of those big milestones, Interledger protocol. You know, what a slide we read today saying that it could possibly be the replacement of IP. ILP is the replacement of IP, the next step up. Now you would have the transfer of information, goods, and value all seamlessly, all efficiently, all quickly. So speaking of Ripple and PayPal and information, quick information type of businesses. By the way, guys, 18 likes, 19 viewers, unreal. Rain in the house. What's up, Rain? How you doing, dude? Good seeing you. Phoenix Starborn in the house. Lurkin, I hear you, man. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, as for Hunter, that's what I felt too. I was like, whoa, good find. Oh, yeah. April Fools. What's up, everybody, guys? Good seeing y'all. Thanks for tuning in. To any new subs, appreciate y'all tuning into the channel. Feel free to say hello in the chat. Get a wrench. Join the blue crew. 19 likes already, you guys. Man, you guys moonshot that like button. You guys are awesome, man. So then Ripple, PayPal, and Twitter joined coalition calling for fair elections. You guys are awesome, man. Much love to y'all. We believe voting should be safe and accessible to everyone everywhere, said Ripple. Blockchain-based payment firm Ripple has joined a nonpartisan group of companies working to ensure access to fair voting in the United States. According to a November 2nd tweet from Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse has joined Twitter, Jack Dorsey, and PayPal CEO Dan Schulman at the Civic Alliance, an organization that states its support for safe, healthy, and trusted elections, in addition to encouraging members, employees, and customers to be civic-minded. So an interesting connection there, right? With Twitter and PayPal. Another connection, once again, between Dan Schulman and Brad Garlinghouse. We've seen them sitting next to each other and talking about payments before. And now Jack Dorsey, of course, he probably definitely knows about XRP and Ripple, especially through his connection with Greg Kidd, who is the chief technology, or not chief technology, chief risk officer, former chief risk officer for Ripple, and former roommate of Jack Dorsey, early investor into Twitter. We like Greg Kidd here on this channel, as you can see. An organization that states it supports safe, healthy, and trusted elections in addition to encouraging members, employees, and customers to be civic-minded. We believe voting should be safe and accessible to everyone, everywhere. It's almost like the same thing that Brad Garlinghouse had said for payments, right? We believe payments should be safe and accessible to everyone, everywhere. Enable payments to everyone, everywhere. So we believe voting should be safe and accessible. This is why Ripple is 100% in for democracy. With the Civic Alliance, which has 936 members at the time of publication, with the reach of more than 5 million employees, a subset of roughly 619 companies claim to encourage 100% of employees to vote with paid time off or flexible work schedules. Ripple has roughly 548 employees at its San Francisco offices. The group reportedly calls on companies to ensure safe access to voting, recognize state and local election officials as the trusted source for certified results, and encourage patience as officials count every vote. Each of our companies is unique, yet we are united by these nonpartisan values. Every American has a voice in our democracy. Voting should be safe for all. Elections should be fair and transparent. It's almost like they're saying payments, right? Should be fair and transparent. Maybe establishing a level playing field, if you will, for voting. The 2020 election in the United States will be on Tuesday. We got that, November 3rd. Determining who is eligible to vote is seemingly a partisan issue in the United States at the moment, with the Republican National Committee involved in more than 40 lawsuits, most of which involve, this is just, now it just gets into the political side of it. I'm not too interested here, but with less than 12 hours before the first polls open on election day, many Bitcoiners are optimistic regardless of the outcome. So we will see what ends up happening with Bitcoin as well, man. Especially if, you know, following the outcome of what's going to be going on from here on out for the 2021 and beyond, basically. What's up to everybody in the chat? Let me see who's here. Lady Enigma in the house. Arati FUD is accelerating. XRP is a gas token? Come on, give me a break. I know, Arati, exactly, man. Come on, man. That's basically what I say. It's just, come on, man. Really? The FUD is just mounting, dude. And the thing is, with Twitter, it's just so dumb because you have the ability to create a handle. You can create an anonymous username. There's no responsibility to it. And so you can just post whatever the hell you like. You can make a very convincing argument, even very strong FUD, more so, and just post it. And then you'll just have some people who are insecure investors or just really hate XRP and are just trying to find any possible way for them to just bring FUD onto XRP, man. And trust me, dude, there's just, or don't trust me, I'm not telling you guys what to do. What I'm trying to say is like, there's just so much FUD that it just keeps increasing my confidence in it. There's just so many people who really are doubting. Like, I just don't understand what other cryptos are really showing you as much development as what's going on with Ripple and XRP. The transparency of what they're doing, right? We can see the steps that they're taking, and like we can see, you know, it allows us to kind of share their vision for the Internet of Value. We see actual use for the ILP, Interledger Protocol, for the Ripple products, all these partnerships that are going down, all the transparency of these partnerships that they can be allowed to say, at least, you know, and they give you rough numbers and whatnot about the other partnerships. And I mean, lbry couldn't say, you know, Amazon and Apple or anything like that, but when you say ILP and you showed it to, you're having 300 plus members in 2018. I'm sure it's accelerated considerably now. But you had 300 plus members in 2018 implementing ILP. I mean, guys, you can just do the numbers. There's only 437 members on this list, and 300 of them plus, maybe 350 now. I'll be like even a little bit more modest in 2020. So chances are you do have the Airbnbs, you do have the Ubers, you do have the Amazons, the American Expresses, the Apples, the AT&Ts. I mean, it's like putting all these names in a hat and just shuffling around, and you get to select 350 of them that are using the Interledger Protocol. And what's the best way to implement payments or use payments safely, securely? We gotta remember, trust. It's a global web of trust amongst these institutions and these banks, all on a level playing field, using a similar standard, applying the ISO 20022 communication standards. And we know for a fact that it's even stated Ripple is the only one that is part of that ISO 20022 standards body right now that we know of officially. I've heard things about XDC, I've heard things about XLM being compliant with those, but right now, on the board, the only one there is Ripple. No, I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm not telling you to trust me. I'm not telling you anything. I'm just saying there's so much FUD about XRP that we're starting to lose appreciation for it, of what it really is doing in the world of payments, and just the patience that it's going to have to take, you know, to be holding on to this digital asset if you do decide to. I'm not telling you guys what to do, but I just have, you know, the information that I've just seen personally myself based on my own research, and that's what I do. I'm holding on strong. Holding on very strong and accumulating more and more and more. Definitely a big holding. I like XLM as well. I like Algo. Those are still more speculative plays. This It seems very real. It seems like it's only getting more, that reality is only coming closer. These companies that are in their ecosystem that we know of at least, are only improving their use of digital payments more and more, right? Accelerating more and more, exponential. That's what I like to see in an investment, is exponential growth. Hopefully XRP eventually can be used at its wide scale. We can have that regulatory clarity about what it is and what it serves, what type of value it's going to be having. We know they ideally would like for it to be at a higher price because it tightens the spreads. Obviously, it gives Ripple, that owns a majority share, a hell of a war chest to continue incentivizing use in that ecosystem, bringing on more players, more partnerships, right? Hell, man, basically becoming that liquidity bank, right? That liquidity source, Ripple. Yeah, it's nuts, man. It's nuts. But let's get into let's check out a crypto actually. Let's go see what Algo's up to, since it dropped down to 22 cents, unfortunately. Esper, I sold my car for this dip, and don't tell me you're not an advisor now. Dude, yeah, definitely not a financial advisor. I say that every video. I try to, at least, but, you know. But what's up, everybody? Good seeing y'all. Guys, I'm super bullish on XRP. Like, I just can't. You know, I try to be friendly to all the communities out there, but right now I'm not seeing anything that is as convincing enough to me and to my own eyes. You guys have seen, especially if you're part of the Blue Crew, you guys have seen what we've been seeing. You guys have been seeing these government papers. You guys have been seeing these articles, these partnerships accumulating, the connections that are made to these partnerships, their demands for interoperability, fast, safe, secure payments, right? We know Bitcoin's not going to solve a payments problem, because you try to do payments with Bitcoin, it's too slow. Legendary, do I skip the mortgage this month or buy more XRP? Funny, man. Alright, but yeah, let's jump into this piece, or jump into Algo here. So Algo breaking beneath, unfortunately, that former point of resistance that we were hoping it would treat as support. Now it's going on its way to a full retracement, man. We're going to probably see a 19-cent Algo sometime soon. I mean, you have hope still right here at around 23 cents. I mean, I think it's a hell of an opportunity. We're talking about a possible target of 96 cents to $1 here for Algo whenever this thing decides to bounce. The thing is trying to figure out when that bounce would happen, because you could have that really terrible possibility of us going into another bear market and Algo sinking down to 6 cents. Another massive crash. I mean, we are in crazy times, man, of high volatility, and this is what high volatility in fantasy economics is going to bring you, is either high rewards or, you know, high risk, right? I like Algo a lot, man. I like Algo at these prices. I just think that that goal of $1 is achievable for Algo, so I'm trying to accumulate what I can to get to my target of what I have, which is 96 cents to $1 for Algo sometime in the future. But here, all in all, in the overall scheme, you're still around that deep retracement zone of 78.6. Could be making your way down to a full retracement, which would take you down to ultimately 12 cents. I'd say our next stop is going to be at around 19 cents if it does crash down further. MACD not looking too good. RSI, maybe it's in your favor. And the VWAP here, definitely below the VWAP. Maybe some more bearish pressure to come. Doesn't look like. It's just been super bearish for Algo consecutive days. Long time. Since going back to August. Just super consolidation. for algo. I'm excited about this project though, long term. What's up, everybody? What's the live stream all-time high, G? You mean in terms of likes, viewers, or chat? I think in terms of likes, it's like at around 50, maybe, or maybe I'd say 45, somewhere around there in terms of likes. Viewers, I think one time we've had like 50 plus viewers, and then chat, yeah, around $50 for the chat revenue. It was like $48 or something. Man, I don't know. This nomad bus life doesn't suit me. I hear you, man. Van life biker though, man, he's gonna be on the move, dude. He's already like living in the future, man, where you're just gonna have these mobile, stationary mobile, like, hell, maybe eventually a mobile city, mobile town, just moving anywhere, on the run, not on the run, on the go, I mean. Dude, as for Hunter, exactly, man, it is gonna be insane. I mean, I'm not expecting anything can happen, of course, but I'm gonna expect just boring, plain old boring politics. I think the only thing that will be crazy is people's emotions about what it ends up looking like, right? And that can maybe drive some crazy, you know, like crypto's a world thing, you know, so we're gonna see what the global sentiment towards the markets is going to be for crypto for sure. Just live under the bridge, Daniel. Alrighty, so Australia's central bank kicks off CBDC research project with Consensus as partner. The Australian Central Bank announced Monday it's partnering with Commonwealth Bank, National Australia Bank, Perpetual, and Consensus to explore the possible use and implications of a wholesale form of central bank digital currency, CBDC, using distributed ledger technology, DLT. What this channel is all about, you guys. The future is distributed ledger technology. And nobody freaking knows about it, man. The amount of people in this space in general is so small, and the amount of people in XRP in general is so small. The amount of people in even ADA is even smaller. The amount of people even in VeChain is even smaller. So crazy to have this opportunity. Who knows what the ending of this wild west of crypto era is going to be like, but we get more and more of an idea it is going to be regulated heavily, and who knows what that can do to, hopefully, to these scam coins. They end up going away, and hopefully we got to choose some real boats that really get to accumulate in some real value. The Reserve Bank of Australia, RBA, said the project will involve the development of proof of concept for the issuance of a tokenized form of CBDC for use by wholesale market participants for funding, settlement, and repayment of tokenized syndicated loan on an Ethereum-based DLT platform. The RBA also said the project will look into other potential programmability and automation features of a tokenized CBDC and financial assets. We are aiming to explore the implications of a CBDC for efficiency, risk management, and innovation in wholesale financial market transactions. We are pleased to be collaborating with industry partners to explore if there is a future role for a wholesale CBDC in the Australian payment system. The project is expected to be completed around the end of 2020, and a report will be issued on the project during the first half of next year, the central bank said. Australia trying to jump into the central bank digital currency race. We know Ripple has some offices over in Sydney, right? Man, the rails of which these CBDCs are going to be running on, that's going to be interesting. Give me 1 second, guys. me see if I can find this really quick. Okay, so check out what an old presentation here from 2016 by Ripple, comparing XRP to other digital assets for global interbank settlements, and then look at what the central bank issued assets would be doing. Yes, it provides governance, but in terms of global reach and speed and the risk, doesn't do too much, right? Doesn't solve those problems. Where here, if you use that digital asset, use that XRP, that internet money, the real internet money, the value connected to data, probably going to get something good. You're going to get that reach, right? You're going to get that speed. Won't have to deal with that risk, minimal risk, using the XRPL. G on the mic. Yeah, what's up, man? ILP is linked to XRP, right? Crypto Keeper, man, you got to check out more of our videos, man. We've been talking about ILP and XRP, definitely connected. I mean, the highlight clip that I always like to use in terms of you know, showing when people say that interledger protocol is currency agnostic and whatnot. I like showing this clip from the CTO of Ripple, or former CTO of Ripple, Stefan Thomas. Right, he shows the interledger layer right here, and then he shows an example of the settlement process using packets of data, using converters, or not converters, connectors, and XRP would be that ultimate connector, because these payment rails would be set up in a certain way where that, and especially when you're talking about interledger protocol being the underground or the underneath layer to the internet, which is packets of data, these packets of value that are being transmitted as well. And what are those packets of value going to be, right? What is the digital asset that is set up best to be those packets of value that are being transmitted? And that we've seen already examples of through the use of things like COIL, for example, the ILP payment pointer, and so on and so forth. Of course, you can choose to receive any type of currency or send any type of currency, but what's that bridge currency in between that allows it to happen at such great speed, right? What's that technology in between that allows it to happen at speed? Because that's where all the businesses are going to be wanting to use. What provides me the best speed? What provides me the lowest risk? What provides me with the you know, information that I need, that transparency, right? That level playing field, that standardized form of payments where you don't have to think about payments. Payments are ubiquitous. Payments are being received. Payments are being sent, all seamlessly, streamlined, right? So then the clip that I like to show is right here where this lady comes up and well, these three questions are actually really great, so I think we're going to take the time to look at this right here. If you guys haven't seen this video, it's pretty awesome. But yeah, all these questions are actually really great, man. We would be here for a good bit. I don't want to take up too much time, but dang. Okay, so we're going to start off from this question. This will take about, yeah, this might take up about, yeah, 6 to 7 minutes, guys. So hopefully you guys like Ripple, like XRP, like Interledger Protocol, want to learn more about it. So here we go. By the way, guys, thanks for the 22 likes. And to any new subscribers to the channel, welcome. Appreciate y'all. Much love. Always much love to the Blue Crew as well. The future is bright. That's right, Jeff. Jeff, I mean, it would make sense. The higher the price goes and the higher that supply demand, that higher that supply demand relationship ends up happening, the more stable XRP can be, and we know that it can already be working, at a stable price. We've seen it go sideways. I mean, even in these markets, in a very high volatility market, you're seeing its resiliency. Now just imagine when there's trillions of dollars being funneled in through the Ripple net, through the ILP, through the other companies and their ecosystems that are using XRP. It would make sense that you make a standard of value, that you make that a stable source of value. The higher the price, the more stable it becomes. I mean, Miguel, we'll show a clip here on Miguel Valles answering that question as well, but let's just check this one out with about questions about ILP, Interledger Protocol, right here. You got Chris Larson and Stefan Thomas answering.
We really try to focus on, kind of the bottom of the payment stack, so kind of on the infrastructure part of it. And again, a reason for that is
Jeff, ILP can settle in any currency, but when you set up the payment rails in a certain way and you set up the connectors in a certain way to provide an efficient, seamless experience, and you're going to have this digital asset that is tried and true, because the best thing to run on ILP to use for settlement would be a digital asset, right? And from what we've seen from those examples, that central bank digital currencies aren't going to be providing that quick, secure means of settlement, right? And so far, the best and long-tested digital asset that is endlessly scalable, which you're going to hear here from Chris Larson, endlessly scalable. So allowing this ubiquitous payments, these streamline of payments, because they can do what the internet does, right? What the Interledger Protocol is that packets of data transmitting. So the best way to make payments, and businesses are going to always want to use, like I said, the fastest, most secure way to send that payment, and that's going to be through a digital asset like XRP, right? If all these companies are implementing ILP, that means they're all on board on the standard that ILP is trying to set here with its payment connectors. This is why Ripple knew ILP was so much bigger than Ripple itself. They knew ILP was the gold mine for the ultimate use of XRP, the digital asset, which is the #1 goal of Ripple, right? So let's check this out.
That a lot of the things that prevent bad things from happening are kind of top of the stack. And a lot of that actually doesn't need to be reinvented, right? And the way we kind of think of it is like, let's focus on what's really changing. And we think this is the interoperability. It's the idea of a digital asset with no counterparty that can be sent anywhere in the world that's neutral. So those are the things I think we can change, and then piggyback off of, this is what we like.
Oh, we didn't get to hear this guy's question, so here we go.
Thank you guys for coming to speak today.
I just wanted to learn a little bit behind the scene, like for example, the AI, who built the AI, how the money goes to the AI chatbot.
Okay, so we built a protocol that kind of takes Interledger on the one side and takes HTTP on the other side, and essentially you're making REST calls, so you're making API calls to these backends, and the first time you make the call, they'll respond with 402 payment required, which is a sort of an error code in HTTP that was already reserved, and we were like, great, that works for our use case. And basically, it sends you back a header that tells you all the information that you need to know to make Interledger payments to that exact endpoint, or the API server that runs that endpoint. And so that server will be listening for Interledger packets in addition to the HTTP requests. And so when you start paying, yeah, it'll go back into that same receiver, and then the receiver will then credit your, what we call like a token. And then the next time you make a request, it has in the header your token, and so the receiver will know that you've actually funded that with some packets, and then you can proceed through the program. The streaming version of the demo that you saw, that's a little bit more complicated. This probably goes a little bit beyond, but we can maybe catch up about it later. And then one thing that's also interesting is that one of the services, which is the thing that builds a static site into a Docker container, actually itself pays another API, right? So you have another API behind that. And so one of the things that's really cool is with these streaming payments, we can actually have sort of an API that takes in money, and then immediately spends it as it's trying to process the request, and then maybe sends a little bit as profit to the developer, and then returns the result. So there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with it.
I'm sure there is. So another thing with ILP, if you guys didn't get to check out today's video earlier, there's two modes on ILP. There's the atomic mode and the universal mode. The atomic mode involves third parties, and they're aware of each other's existence. They have trusted connections already, and yeah, takes place between trusted connector nodes, between banks or financial services companies, right? But universal mode does not require a third party and can work between untrusted connectors, which is usually more like the internet. The internet is a bunch of interactions between untrusted parties, but being able to use and universal mode with ILP, right here it says it uses Ripple's internal cryptocurrency, XRP, to facilitate the transfers. So when you're talking about internet payments, which this world is going to be moving towards, right? Contactless payments require some form or use of internet. And you're talking about universal mode and interledger. You're going to be using XRP to facilitate these transfers. So no matter what you want to use, you want to receive or spend with BTC, cool, but it's going to be using ILP. It's going to be using ILP is going to do whatever it takes to facilitate that transfer the quickest and most efficient way, right? Maybe you can decide what you want to settle with, but why would you want to settle, especially if you're a business, why would you want to settle with a slower, more expensive token? Maybe because it provides you great security, but as we can see, XRP since 2012 has been providing consistent security, right? So back to it.
Great, thanks.
Thank you guys for coming to speak today. I'm kind of curious to learn more about how you might prevent money laundering and companies that participate in, like the payday loan type companies from coming on the system that exploit people financially. I'm interested to learn more about that sort of thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think we really try to focus on, kind of the bottom of the payment stack, so kind of on the infrastructure part of it. Again, a reason for that is that a lot of the things that prevent bad things from happening are kind of top of the stack. And a lot of that actually doesn't need to be reinvented, right? And the way we kind of think of it is like, let's focus on what's really changing. And we think this is the interoperability. It's the idea of a digital asset with no counterparty that can be sent anywhere in the world that's neutral. So those are the things I think what we can change, and then piggyback off of this is what we like, kind of the enterprise focus now is for that as that first beachhead. Piggyback off of what already exists for hundreds of millions, of people. The other thing I would say is that if this Internet of Value becomes a reality, I think the prevention of things like payday lending, obviously that has to be regulated. That's a big part of it at every level. But the other big thing, to what Stefan mentioned before, is sort of the commoditization of reach. If you have that, you suddenly now, every market has way more competitors for financial products. And it was something we saw at Prosper and Elon we got frustrated with, because we were kind of US only. You couldn't transport it to another market because you were in another network, right? This future vision, I think, is that the world is one big financial supermarket. And
Right? The world will be one big financial supermarket. It's going to be one big Amazon, one big Google, one big Apple, one big... There are no nations. There are no peoples, right? The guy from Network, his speech that he gives to Howard Beale. There are no nations. There are no peoples. The world is a business, Mr. Beale. Right?
everybody's competing.
So one financial supermarket, everyone's competing with each other using that level playing field, using that neutral asset that can be used anywhere, anytime, and enable payments anywhere, anytime, for everywhere, for everyone, right? How Uphold and a lot of these companies like to talk now.
Competing in every market. I think that goes a long way. But you still need all the other kind of regulatory components pretty much existing. Some may go away, but I'd say probably most of them don't. I don't know what you want to add to that. But.
Yeah, I think like with you mentioned anti-money laundering. I think there's sort of a long list of things that are actually completely separate issues, right? There's sort of consumer risk, there is anti-money laundering, there is anti-terrorism, finance. Like there's all kinds of different things that you have to think about when you're building a payment system. And so if you have a stack like this, they'll fit in different parts of the stack. Like for instance, consumer protection, that would fit in the application layer. So if you're building an application where consumers are sending money, you have to think about how to protect those consumers from sending it to the wrong people. If you think about risk, like counterparty risk, that would fit in the sort of the ledger layer, right? So you have a counterparty, they settle with you on a certain schedule. How do you make sure they actually settle with you? So there are a myriad of things to think about. I think that it's kind of illusory for us to come up with all the solutions. I think we're trying to be thoughtful in terms of like getting it to a point where we can start experimenting with it and kind of get more experience with it. But that's going to require sort of a commercialization of the technology to really think about all of those use cases. And I would also highlight that Ripple has a commercial stack and a commercial feature set, and that is very much like Chris said, like riding within the existing regulatory framework. And then we have the open protocols, which are maybe a little bit more forward-looking, and I think some of those questions are more difficult there. So what you saw us present today is the more forward-looking stuff. So I think some of those questions are still open there.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so this question right here, this is the clip I usually like to show people about whether XRP is being used on ILP, or are they just like trying to, are they not even using XRP at all, right? They just trying to use it for money or whatever.
Hi, thanks for the presentation. So since the tech is currency agnostic, what would be the incentive to choose XRP over fiat or any other cryptocurrency?
So this is where I'd almost love to ask my colleague up on stage, because we have our team who's actually trying to integrate with these different digital assets and different payment systems, and it's just like many orders of magnitude of difference between XRP and, let's say, Bitcoin, and still several orders of magnitude between XRP and something like Litecoin, which is known as a more efficient sort of asset, and it's just a pleasure to work with, and part of it is it's been designed for that, right? Like it's been designed to be used as the settlement asset in Interledger, and so it has a lot of functionality like payment channel.
So right there. So back to it, man. Listen very closely. He's telling you the whole game right here.
This is where I'd almost love to ask my colleague up on stage, because we have our team who's actually trying to integrate with these different digital assets and different payment systems, and it's just
integrating with different digital assets, different payment systems, and listen to this statement right here.
Many orders of magnitude of difference between XRP and, let's say, Bitcoin, and still several orders of magnitude between XRP and something like Litecoin, which is known as a more efficient sort of asset. And
he just threw some shade at Litecoin there, where he's like, many orders of magnitude different than Litecoin, which is considered a more efficient sort of asset, right? Disrespecting the tech of Bitcoin and Litecoin right there. A former big time. The reason Bitcoin is even popular could be because of this man. Having implemented or done the first successful re-implementation of Bitcoin for JavaScript, the first successful mineable re-implementation of Bitcoin. This guy. And look at him. Many orders of magnitude different than BTC. Many orders of magnitude different than Litecoin. Miles Parker, Crypto Keeper, what's up? XRP for me, what's up, dude? Good seeing you too, man. What's up, everybody? So then, listen to what else he says here.
It's just a pleasure to work with, and part of it is it's been designed for that, right? Like it's been designed to be used as the settlement asset in Interledger, and so it has a lot of function.
Look at what Chris Larson says. Look, You could tell body language sometimes, right? Chris Larson, when Stefan Thomas says this, it's almost like he's hiccuping, right? So he goes, it's been designed for that. It's been designed to be the native asset, the native currency for Interledger, right? Look at Chris Larson right here. Just look at when he says that statement.
Different payment systems, and it's just like a many orders of magnitude of difference between XRP and, let's say, Bitcoin, and still several orders of magnitude between XRP and something like Litecoin, which is known as a more efficient sort of asset. And like, it's just a pleasure to work with, and part of it is.
Okay, so look at Chris Larson right here when he says it's been designed for that. It's been designed to be the native currency for Interledger.
It's been designed for that, right? Like it's been designed to be used as the settlement asset in Interledger, and so.
Chris Larson just said, wait, whoa. You just said it's been designed to be the settlement asset in Interledger. You know how massive that is to say that? Especially when you're talking about 300 plus members of the W3C implementing Interledger protocol, right? Chris Larson just went, dude, fucking what the fuck, Stefan? What the fuck did you just say? Right? That's what he's basically looking at him like. He's like, dude, you just gave the whole game away.
It's just a pleasure to work with, and part of it is it's been designed for that, right? Like it's been designed to be used as the settlement asset in Interledger, and so it has a lot of functionality like payment channels built in a certain way that are incredible. It is a pleasure to. It's just a pleasure to work with, and part of it is it's been designed for that, right? Like it's been designed to be used as the settlement asset in Interledger, and so it has a lot of functionality like payment channels built in a certain way that are incredibly efficient.
Payment channels built in a certain way that are incredibly efficient
for this particular use case, and so I think the big answer, the main answer is right now it's just the best thing to use. Like we talk to people, hey, let's set up a connector. Well, what do we peer with? Well, we could use Litecoin, or we could use XRP, but XRP will just be cheaper. So let's use XRP. And so I think as much, to the extent that like these connectors are going to be competing with each other and they're trying to think about their margins, XRP is just going to look like a very good option for them.
Yeah, in this world, you'll need some digital asset that is super fast, super cheap, endlessly scalable.
Super fast, super cheap, endlessly scalable. Like now Chris Larson just wants to jump in. He's like, hey, if you're just gonna, pull the cat out of the bag or whatever, if you're gonna pull the rabbit out of the hat, if you're just gonna reveal to everybody what we're doing with XRP, I'm gonna jump on it too, man. You're gonna need a digital asset that's cheap, fast, endlessly scalable, secure, right? Transparent, neutral.
That will serve the world very well, right? Better than, let's say, using a dollar.
Let's hear him say that again. Let's see.
You talk to people, hey, let's set up a connector. Well, what do we peer with? Well, we could use Litecoin, or we could use XRP, but XRP will just be cheaper. So let's use XRP. And so I think as much, to the extent that like these connectors are going to be competing with each other and they're trying to think about their margins, XRP is just going to look like a very good option for them.
Right? All these payment rails set up in a certain way, the plumbing set up again in a certain way, enabling a level playing field. So now you're going to have this cheap, safe, fast option for payments, this digital asset, this XRP, running through ILP and setting up, they say they'll be talking to people setting up connectors, right? And this is what ILP is all about, is those connectors. So let's say they're talking to, one of the known Ripple partners like an American Express, or for example, and they set up a payment connector with them. And they say, well, what would you want to use ILP to settle with? And of course, Ripple is going to suggest, well, we have this digital asset that doesn't need to be mined, doesn't leave a carbon footprint, is eco-friendly, highly secure, because we try to build a quality validator system. Remember, the nodes that run the system, the blockchain, that distributed ledger technology, also have to be taken into account. And when you have these members of the W3C implementing ILP, chances are most of them are Ripple partners or connected to ILP in a certain way where they're running the quality of these validators. And the more of these validators that are these trusted parties, right? These trusted institutions, these central banks, these creators for value. So let's continue looking in.
Them.
Yeah, in this world, you'll need some digital asset that is super fast, super cheap, endlessly scalable. That will serve the world very well, right? Better than, let's say, using a dollar or using a euro, right? Something that is neutral to any network.
Something that is neutral to any network. A universal asset, a neutral digital asset that is cheap, scalable, endlessly scalable, fast. And it's funny because Chris Larson's a guy who says that the XRPL will make fiat stronger, right? Because it is that digital asset that is cheap, fast, and endlessly scalable. You won't need to use fiat to settle anymore, but you could use fiat in terms of the means for transferring the value, or, you know, if you decide to use the CBDC of China or US, and you can convert it into another CBDC, another form of value. Crazy, man. So here in this statement, he's already talking about maybe XRP replacing fiat as a means for settlement, right? Confirming that.
So we're absolutely confident that some digital asset will be a key part of this Internet of Value, but we think that sort of
we think it's some sort of digital asset. They can't say it, but we think some sort of digital asset is going to be a key part of this Internet of Value, right?
fast, cost and scalability are going to be those key things, and that's what's going to drive the liquidity that's going to make these things really useful.
Yeah,
and it's all about liquidity, right? At the end of the day, that's what it's really all about.
like XRP is not static either. It's like we're constantly thinking about how to help improve it. There's a community out there that's thinking about how to improve it. So you can expect that it will get better as well as time goes on.
You can expect that it'll even get better as well. Endlessly scalable, right? And obviously adaptable. The first translator for money. The first neutral digital asset. This is why I'm so freaking hyped on this thing, man. And I love talking to the Blue Crew and sharing my thoughts about it. Maybe I'm too excited about it. Maybe I'm too bullish on it. Maybe I'm too emotional about this investment. But it's just when you're hearing those types of things from these types of people at Talks at Google right here, you know Google is one of the investors in Ripple as well. You know, knowing about XRP, trying to educate myself more about it. You know, and I'm always open to other suggestions as well. But man, you really just don't see this type of development with any other company in this crypto space. I understand IBM is doing some great things, but IBM is also created with Ripple, or not created, connected with Ripple as well. I understand they got that announcement with Stellar, and yes, Stellar and XLM is going to be doing its thing as well. Sure, there's tons of potential there with Stellar based on the research we've seen there with XLM, but it still has some ground to cover. It's not. We know the advantage of a first mover advantage in this space. I mean, look at Bitcoin, right? Well, XRP is the first translator for money, the first interoperable ledger, the first federal Byzantine agreement ledger, right? So here we go.
Final question.
Hi. So I was listening in the very beginning of your presentation about how you think XRP is better over Bitcoin, in the sense that Bitcoin is at a loss.
By the way, good night, Jeff. Thanks for tuning in, man.
Slower, a lot more expensive, but it is there for a reason, right? Because it requires like at least 6 confirmation across the network in order for a transaction to happen.
Good night, Jake Hill. Take care, man.
And that is there in order to address the double spending problem. So I was just curious, like in your own words, how does that XRP address the double spend problem if it's just a confirmation between the 2 nodes?
Yeah. So if you're not technical, please do something else for a little bit? Because there's no way to answer that question without getting into some of the technology. So Bitcoin uses a consensus process, which is essentially based around the assumption that a majority of hashing power will never be held by a coordinated malicious attacker. And so if you're watching what the majority of hashing power is doing, you'll tend to be on a state of the network that is reasonable and doesn't contain reverted transactions and so on. However, the protocol as such does allow rollbacks, right? So you can, if somebody else presents you with a chain that's longer, has more hashing power behind it, you will roll back your transactions and switch to that. And I know that because I was one of the first people to implement a full node Bitcoin reimplementation from scratch. So I wrote that code, and it's very complex, annoying code to write. So
right there, he's already talking about being one of the first to re-implement a Bitcoin node, and that it does have the capabilities to roll back, and it does have chances that it could be 51% attacked, right? So let's
I'll remember that forever. On the Ripple side, such code does not exist. There's no way to roll back the network. Now, how is that possible? Well, the way that Ripple works is, as I mentioned before, the users select these validators, and then we essentially use that input as an input to sort of an algorithm where we look at the graph of what people selected, and then we run a consensus on validators that are central to that graph, or like that are highly trusted within that graph. And so it's sort of this two-step process. And what that means is that when the first step is complete and you have identified which validators you're looking for, you don't have to worry about there being like more hashing power just over the horizon. Like once you hear from the validators that you've identified as being the ones that are validating, or like the ones that you're listening to, then you don't have to worry about some other validator coming in later saying like, no, actually we decided this, you just didn't hear about it yet. And so there's no need to roll back or to rewrite history. Once validators have committed to a decision, they can't change their minds essentially. And so that has a couple of impacts, or like a couple of ways that the protocol is different because of that. Number one, you only have to wait for one confirmation. You wouldn't wait for multiple confirmations because validators can't change their mind. You can't roll back, so there's no probabilistic aspect to it. Number two is we can process, or we can create blocks on a cadence, so we can create blocks on like a fixed interval, as opposed to a random interval like Bitcoin, where blocks can come out very close together, or there could be no block for a long time. Because we know which validators are supposed to generate blocks, they can generate them on that cadence. And then finally, I think, did I cover everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. There's a really good talk on.
But yeah, lots of good stuff in this video, guys. I'm not going to take up more of the time because we do have some more things I want to check out as well in this live stream. But dude, such a great video in terms of Interledger. He does a whole presentation here. There's definitely a lot more stuff that even Chris Larson talks about as well. Like a lot of juicy stuff is just in this one video alone. I'm going to go on a bathroom break, guys, so I'll be right back. And then we'll continue on. And I got another video with Chris Larson to show you in relation to this Twitter post right here. But we got our last piece of news, and then we'll get into that as well. So we still got a good amount of time to go on this live stream. So appreciate you all tuning in. Thanks for the 27 likes, everyone. Good seeing y'all. I'll be right back. Just going to go to the restroom. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you in a bit. All right, we're back. Thanks for you guys' patience. What's up, everybody? Daniel XRP, good night to you, my man. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate your support. So, let's get into this next piece of news, you guys. Thanks for tuning in, by the way, to another DLT late night live stream. Let me check out what's going on with the sound here. For some reason, I can't get music to play, but we'll see if we can fix that. Okay, interesting. There we go. Now we're back. All right, so let's jump into this news article. More crypto banks incoming, says OCC's Brian Brooks. Brian Brooks, the acting comptroller of the currency, made waves today after he stated that the crypto companies need to mature and develop risk management tools as well as BSA AML tools in order to work well with banks. During a recent podcast, as expected, the statement wasn't taken well by some who have been discussed or dissuaded from the need to explore compliance solutions. What is also interesting, however, is that Brian Brooks revealed that at the administration's highest levels, there's a split opinion on crypto, adding that the trend is looking positive for the industry. With regard to the split of opinion within the administration, he is perhaps referring to Steve Mnuchin, U.S. Secretary of Treasury, who recently moved to introduce stricter regulations for crypto. In fact, he had told lawmakers that these regulations around digital currencies will help expose secret accounts and nefarious activities. While Mnuchin's is different from Brooks's, Brooks drew attention to people like Commissioner Hester Pierce at the SEC and Chairman Heath Tarbert at the CFTC, both of whom continue to educate relevant parties on the benefits of crypto. As the acting comptroller put it, there are risks, but the benefits can't be thrown out because there are risks. Earlier this year, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency had issued a letter clarifying that banks have a legal precedent to provide traditional banking services for digital assets. Reportedly, this gave rise to crypto custody companies like Anchorage and Coinbase being contacted by banks to discuss being third-party custody providers for national banks whose customers wanted to invest in Bitcoin. According to Brooks, it is likely that banks would prefer to buy crypto custodians or partner with them now that they can legally do that rather than set up this complex process on their own. Brooks also noted that after the OCC letter was issued, the price of most crypto assets went up, a development that he interpreted as a signal from the market that the institutions felt safer investing in an asset that had custody in the bank. He concluded by claiming, based on earlier pipeline inquiries, there will be more crypto banks soon. A crypto bank, right? Is Ripple setting itself up to become this massive crypto bank? Providing liquidity with XRP. So then we get into this Twitter post from the Chamber of Digital Commerce. Thoughts from the future of money, increasing interest in machine-to-machine payments. Offers a unique need for programmable currencies, which might include a CBDC. As we are continuously entering the machine-to-machine space, there is a lot of excitement. If we imagine a car company is spending billions of euros to remove the driver, that the banks will put someone in the passenger seat just to execute a payment, there is a real need for a programmable currency. And this is coming from Commerce Bank. I'm not sure if there is a connection with Commerce Bank and Ripple. Let me just check it out. Oh, well, there we go. Commerce Bank pilot cross-border payments on R3's Marco Polo network. Right. Who else do we got here? Oh yeah, BOA hiring a specialist, right? German bank Commerce Bank sent to trial blockchain for trading finances, possibly Ripple. Nothing official though, right? So nothing official. But anyways, we jump over to this video, so just keep that in mind. Machine to machine payments, right? And if XRP is like the greatest digital asset for payments, or has been created specifically to master payments, let's check this out. Let's see what Chris Larson has to say about machine to machine payments, even if he talks about them at all. Let's see.
I've heard you talk about the potential then for, as you're saying, an explosion of economic development, which is why the developing world, central banks and regulators are so much behind all this, because we'll have markets of billions of people who are not connected to markets today.
Yeah, it will create huge economic growth, just like that shipping container did, just like the internet connecting 3 billion people and growing, what about a 20%?
Okay, so we've been talking about ILP, so I'm going to jump back to here in just a second, so around this time frame, but give me a sec. I want you guys to hear him say something specifically about ILP.
And where we are going, should be going, how we're going to get there.
Well, first of all, thank you for being so gracious, very kind words, and thank you to Peter. It's great to see him again. But, you know, obviously there is a ton of noise within the blockchain space. You know, the thing could, you know, cure every ill in the world, and, you know, the truth is 90% of it is utter nonsense that's going to go away for sure. But
already saying, you know, 99% or 90% of the nonsense we hear in terms of blockchain is going to go away for sure.
But what comes of that, I think this is a fundamental shift in fintech, and what we believe the big thing happening here is the development of a second internet. We call it the Internet of Value.
The development of a second internet, the Internet of Value, the Interledger Protocol.
So that value, money, assets will begin moving as quickly and efficiently as data has been moving for the last 25 years. And we think that is profound in what it's going to do to the world. So while a lot of the attention in blockchain is around new currencies, digital assets, and certainly we, you know, work on and advocate for digital assets. XRP is the one that we've really gotten behind. That's really just a subset of a much bigger thing happening. And so really, I think you're leading into a world where there'll be complete interoperability between all the money.
All the money. Complete interoperability in the world with all the money. Dude, yes, Miles Parker, Chris Larson is a gangster, dude. He's just dropping knowledge. He's saying, yeah, 90% of it is going to go away, for sure.
Systems, ledgers, networks of the world.
Let's listen to that one more time, dude, because it's beautiful the way he says that.
New currencies, digital assets, and certainly we, you know, work on and advocate for digital assets. XRP is the one that we've really gotten behind. That's really just a subset of a much bigger thing happening. And so really, I think you're leading into a world where there'll be complete interoperability between all the money, systems, ledgers, networks of the world. And that's really what's missing today. So for example, we all know, you know, wealthy people, people in developing countries. I mean, we can't even really send $50 to Europe without it being all chewed up in fees. That's clearly a problem. Much bigger problem is the 2 billion people living in the developing world who need, according to the Gates Foundation, need to be able to send 50 cents to really be participants in the global economy. You can't do that in a system that's run by SWIFT and correspondent banking, where we all know it might take 3 days to move value between countries, and where there's high failure rates and the costs are very high. So, you know, we've been in the money world, we're living in a pre-internet world where, you know, before we had email, it was very expensive to communicate. You know, imagine sending letters. You know, nobody does that anymore. Using SWIFT is like sending a letter. You know, when you
using SWIFT is like sending a letter. Miles Parker, Larson is a gangster. Exactly, man. Had to read that again because that's what he's doing right here, man.
You've dropped it in the mailbox. You have no idea where it is, if it got there or not. So getting away from that, I think, is profound. And what we would say is that, you know, a lot of the backlash on globalization today, it's not because globalization is bad. It's essential.
It's not that globalization is bad. It's essential.
It's that it's incomplete because globalization needs kind of three key systems to be working together, and it needs interoperability and data. You know, check that one. We've had that since the internet IP, 25 years now. You need interoperability in goods. We've had that since the 50s with the shipping container. We've talked about shipping. We love shipping containers.
We're going to come back to that.
That was key. But you don't have it yet in money. And you know, you need data, goods, and money to all be globally operating. And that's coming. So that's the profound thing. The neat thing about when we talk about blockchain, while it's not the digital assets themselves that can ever be the network of networks, because you know, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP's ledger, they're all just networks. So that can never be the network of networks. But what they did is they created this thing. We believe the winner will be ILP, the Interledger Protocol, which we think is equivalent to IP that changed data and to that shipping container that changed goods.
So ILP being that third leg of the stool, that transfer of value, like the way the shipping container changed for goods, the way data has changed as well for information, interoperability of information. That's what we're having here with the Interledger Protocol. And he basically was kind of saying that XRP, even though he was saying XRP, it's its own network, ILP, using universal mode, uses the most efficient connector. And what do you think? He just said we are really supportive or trying our best with XRP, right? We're really behind XRP.
So that's a really profound thing that will play out over the next, pick some number, 1, 2, 5, 10 years. It's happening right now.
Okay, so then now we jump back to this statement where he's going to be talking about machine-to-machine learning, right?
Governments have really been getting behind this. About 20 people
Who are not connected to markets today.
Yeah, it will create huge economic growth, just like that shipping container did, just like the internet connecting 3 billion people and growing, what about a 20% increase in global GDP in about 5 years? So the implications here are huge. And governments have really been getting behind this. It's really encouraging. You know, in 2014, it was kind of dark days for regulation in blockchain in the space. Now, I think the regulators are getting behind systems that make sense, like interoperability, and getting behind digital assets. Because, again, the cryptocurrencies, the digital assets, whatever you want to call them, they also play a key role in that. Once you get the plumbing in place, those new types of assets that have no counterparties create incredible efficiencies to reduce capital that has to otherwise be kept by banks all over the world, could be used for IoT, because again, probably once you get that infrastructure in place, most payments will be machine-to-machine.
Boom. Right? Most payments will be machine-to-machine. Once you have all that infrastructure in place, what does Ripple call themselves? That blockchain infrastructure company, right? Resetting the payment rails, right? Fixing the plumbing, whatever, you know, analogy they want to use for it. XRP is at the heart of that. He just said these digital assets will play a key role. And ILP is going to use the safest, most secure way of connecting payments or executing a payment, settling the payment. And in universal mode, it will use when it's dealing without trusted parties, like things on the internet, interactions on the internet. What do you think's going to be done, man? It's going to use XRP, and when you're using XRP, supply and demand dynamics start to happen. You're having massive use of XRP, right? What do you think is going to happen, right?
All over the world, could be used for IoT, because again, probably once you get that infrastructure in place, most payments will be machine-to-machine.
So most payments will be machine-to-machine. So very interesting here with the Chamber of Digital Commerce and Michael Spitz of Commerce Bank. We are continuously entering the machine-to-machine space. There's a lot of excitement. If we can imagine a car company is spending billions of euros to remove the driver, that the banks will put someone in the passenger seat just to execute a payment, there is a real need for a programmable currency.
So that also kind of, again, once you solve the developing world problem, that also solves the IoT problem. So the explosion in the number of transactions is tremendous, and that drives a lot of what the demand for digital assets, which
the demand for XRP. I think he wanted to say the demand for XRP, but he went the demand for digital assets.
Regulators are, and banks are getting behind now.
What regulators and banks are getting behind now.
So you mentioned...
Okay, so that's a good video as well if you guys want to check this one out. I'll share it in the chat. But we are getting close to wrapping this up, guys. I just wanted to share that connection there with that Twitter statement and Chris Larson saying eventually once you get that infrastructure in place, you have these digital assets being used, playing a key role in transfers and transactions, then most payments will become machine to machine. And if you're talking about machine to machine, then that means internet, right? And that means interledger protocol. Do you guys get what I'm saying at here? Is there a possibility that really, it's crazy because we are so bullish on so many of these cryptos, but even if 90% of these cryptos go away, there's still about 50 to 100 of them, these digital assets that end up surviving. So that just lets you know how inflated this whole space really is. And I think one of the real boats for sure, a massive yacht even, a massive Titanic. Well, I don't want to say the Titanic, but you know what I'm saying. A massive cruiser, if you will, of a project looking like Ripple XRP. Very, very nice. So then some more interoperability lingo, and look at this, guys, from Business Solutions at Visa. Let's listen to this from Riz XRP.
Depending upon the use case, depending upon the corporate need, depending upon the market you're supporting, different rails make sense and they move data appropriately. And so fundamentally, as we think about it.
Give me 1 second, because he was talking about the payment rails here, so pay attention. Head of Global Business Solutions at Visa.
Depending upon the use case, depending upon the corporate need, depending upon the market you're supporting, different rails make sense and they move data appropriately. And so fundamentally, as we think about it, the interoperability of rails will continue to increase. They're going to be important. And I think you will see some level of standardization with the new ISO format and the like, which will drive some of those standards. But beyond that, I think there's not a need to go to one set of rails. I think as long as we have interoperability and we solve for the problems of our corporates, we'll be in a much better place.
Right? What have we been talking about? This is the global head of Business Solutions at Visa.
Drive some of those standards, but beyond
the ISO 20022 standard is going to have a significant influence on the types of payments that are going to be the messaging and the payments, the settlement that's going to be happening on ILP, on the internet, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, it might not require the need for a payment, a certain one singular payment rail, but remember, listen what he says here.
Some level of standardization with the new ISO format and the like, which will drive some of those standards. But beyond that, I think there's not a need to go to one set of rails. I think as long as we have interoperability and we solve for the problems of our corporates, we'll be in a much better place.
Right. So as long as we have interoperability and we solve, and what is their demands, right? Faster, cheaper payments, right? As long as we can serve that interoperability, accepting any form of fiat, converting to any form of fiat or digital currency or whatever form of value. It's the global head of solutions at Visa, you guys. I'm not saying that they're connected. I mean, there's definitely connections between Visa and Ripple and XRP. We're not going to be jumping into that in this video. I just thought it was a nice little, little cherry on top of this somewhat of a presentation, somewhat just usual DLT late night shindig with y'all. let's check out the chat. Let's put the music back on. Let's hang out for a bit, you guys. Let's check out a crypto. Want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in for tonight's DLT late night live stream. You guys are amazing, man. Thanks for your support to this channel. Day in, day out. Too good, guys. Too good. Let me set up the music here. Let's get another song. All right. All right, Crypto Keeper, what's up, man? Miles Parker, XRP is the shipping container. Wait till they start filling up all the XRP with value and transporting those shipping containers all day, every day. Miles Parker's got his eye on the prize, that's for sure, my man. What is up, dude? Give me a second, guys. Okay. Yeah, but that was well said, Miles Parker, for sure, man. Jason Geo, too. What's up, Jason Geo? Good seeing you, my man. YFII and ETH. Thoughts? You mean in terms of the charts, Jason Geo? Let me check it out, dude. Jason Geo, long time XRP community and just crypto YouTuber supporter, man. Seen him in a few other live streams as well. Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate you. So with Ethereum, we're looking here on the charts for the US dollar. Our targets for Ethereum, if it's going to continue, right now from the initial impulse, you're at a deep point of retracement at the 78.6. So there could be a chance here where you start to retrace back up towards the upside. You're still in that golden retrace zone. Could bounce back up right here for Ethereum. Still have that opportunity to create a newer low. Seeing some good buying pressure coming in here for Ethereum. If it does go to a full retracement, you're going to go back down to 365, and then the target to maybe bounce off the channel here again is going to be around 359, 360 to get a bounce off Ethereum. But so far it's been in an ascending channel that we've had. Worst case scenario, ETH is going to be coming down to this channel, touching the bottom of the channel, and then working its way back up for another run. Maybe it'll creep up in the same way that it did here, right? So you just have this kind of upward crawl before your next impulse up like you had here. Paul Spaller, what's up, dude? Thanks for the $5 donation. How you doing, man? Good to see you, dude. Paul Spaller in the house. Thanks for your donation, and thanks for your consistent support, man, to the channel. Really appreciate it, man. Paul Spaller. MVP, dude. Doing some good things, man. Thank you so much. Guys, 28 likes for this video. You guys are amazing, man. Hey, dude. Paul Spaller, that's good, man. Good that you're being busy, man. Price increases coming huge for both. I mean, right here, if you have the bounce right here for Ethereum, we're talking to the top of this channel, which would take you to 570 in due time. But if we're talking about a massive price jump, Jason Geo, then yeah, man, you're talking about a target of around close to $1,000, and then ultimately you're just going to be starting to work your way back up to the all-time highs. That's the thing with this crypto space, though, right? It's like there's only billions of dollars in this space. It's so easily manipulated in any direction that it's going to be going. And when we're talking about global adoption, or talking about at least this market upgrading to like trillions of dollars in this space, man, anything can really happen. You can just have crazy impulse that takes you into the thousands for Ethereum, and then maybe into the, you know, maybe we see a $10,000 Ethereum. But right now, the way that the pacing of the markets is going, or the pacing of adoption is going, we're still in this Wild West phase. I'm thinking it's going to play out a little bit like this, where you have maybe some sideways or ascending consolidation until December, somewhere around there, and maybe near the end of December we start to see that impulse up towards $600 for Ethereum. And then possibly, if we break this ascending channel, going towards that $1,000 per Ethereum, and then hopefully the all-time highs. That would be going into 2021. And last time, when we got into the new year after the bull run, right, we faced that serious selling pressure. Donald Trump set Mnuchin to go stop Bitcoin, and that drove the rest of the market down, and that brings us to where we are. Let me check out YFFI or YFII for you, Jason Geo. Yeah, Ethereum 2.0 coming, and DeFi will blast off again. I'm excited for you. Yeah, ETH 2.0, dude, it's going to be massive. Sharding, for sure. Proof of stake. I think they're going to have a successful implementation, without a doubt. Appreciate that insight, my man. All right, so we're checking out. Let me see. I got to go to a different place because maybe I don't get the full history for this one on TradingView. So let me go to. By the way, what's up to everybody in the chat? Guys, thanks for the 29 likes. Almost to 30. Thanks for all the support on this stream. You guys are amazing, man. Paul Spaller, once again, legendary. Thank you. To any new subscribers to the channel, appreciate you all as well. Blue Crew, much love to y'all. Ada, I think. Paul Spaller will check out Ada as well. So let's go to Urine Finance here. Let's go to, do we have a coin paprika? Let me see. No, I guess not. Alright, so let's go here. Hopefully this is the right chart that we're looking at here for you, Jason Geo. Let's just do a basic fibs from the impulse, from the bottom of the impulse to the top. We're going to go from candlestick to candlestick. Right here, you're almost at a full retracement. Maybe if I give you the generosity of the candle close right here. Still looking pretty iffy. Past the 78.6 point of retracement, but some things do gotta give, right, at the end of the day. And you're testing a crucial level of support, which was what's former resistance right here. So maybe you're going to be getting a bounce. This is a great, you might be finding a great low area of entry right here. Like the ideal low area of entry for Urine Finance right here. If you get that impulse up, if you get that break towards the upside. This is looking really nice and juicy here, my man. Because you're testing a former area of what was once resistance as support. You had an awesome impulse upwards. Now you've had your full retracement since September. You might be getting your bounce right here, my man. I think you can maybe see it go maybe further down to 941 before maybe seeing that bounce up. But this is a good area to be testing, and looks like a good low entry point for some possible gains to come. Let me get a price range here. Let me remove this. We'll go from left to right, from the impulse all the way down, then try to set our price range. We'll see at first about up to 4,000. And then second goal would be, yeah, roughly 5,700. That would be amazing. If you start getting that impulse up, man, that could drive you crazy high. 1210 to 4,000, and then possibly back up to 5,000. That could be some really awesome gains right there, my man. Let's check out Ada for Paul Spaller. Good seeing everybody here in the stream. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Hanging out with the Blue Crew, like always, on another DLT late night live stream. Always chill times with everybody. Good people, unique perspectives. Always good input in the chat. You guys really make this channel happen. I appreciate y'all. Alright. So Cardano here at a really nice area as well. Look at that, man. You're probably getting your bounce right now. You're testing former level of you're testing a level of support as resistance and creating hopefully a higher low to enable you for that swing, right? You got your lower low here, and then bam, that creation of the higher low around this area. I mean, technically it was around here, but you're testing that level of support again. Good chance for a low area of entry to get a nice bounce off right here if it does indeed bounce. If not, you're going to be breaking past the support, possibly working your way back down to a 7-cent ADA again, and maybe even possibly worse, down to a 3-cent ADA again. Right. I mean, this can probably work out in time more sideways, not so direct down, but those are the targets if it breaks down to the downside. Targets if it breaks down toward the upside in the short term, up to 9 cents, and then eventually taking you to 11 cents and beyond to 12 cents. Once again, the promised land could be achieved, and then we'll see if we get a retracement there. Oh, nice. Well, then there you go, Paul Spallers. So it might be a good low area of entry. But what do I know, right? I'm not a pro trader, not a financial advisor, and I'll never tell you guys what to do. Paul Spaller, I'm going to buy a country when XRP hits an all-time high. That's hilarious. Ms. C, USDC to the rescue. We are dumping. Okay. Yeah, for sure, Paul Spaller. You got it, man. Can't wait to roam around in one of the countries that you own, dude. That'll be fun, man. A little bit of an awkward head and shoulders possibly forming here for Cardano, but if you trust that it's going to bounce off the support, could be a good high reward to come. If it doesn't, we're talking about going to lower levels, man, and yeah, it could get brutal. Hopefully you set up a good stop loss for yourself. Let's check out one more crypto, and then we're going to be tuning out, you guys. Appreciate everybody tuning in for this DLT late night live stream. Definitely been trying to do a lot more streams on this channel, you guys, trying to put in the work there, and your guys' support means a lot. That is for sure. We also got some events, by the way. I just want to update you guys on some events. Give me a second. Got to pull out my little planner. We got some events this Wednesday on the 4th. Blockchain Expo North America Virtual. We're registered for that. And then the next day after that, on Thursday, there's going to be an IMF meeting that we're going to be trying to stream. But that Blockchain Expo is going to be taking up 3 days up until the 6th. So I'm going to be trying to stream this Blockchain Expo in North America on the channel. Let's go check out HBAR. What's going on with HBAR here? All right, man. HBAR just needs to try to fulfill the prophecy right here. We are bouncing. Still a good low area of accumulation. Proven accumulation zone over a long period of time since February. We're going to end up seeing what HBAR is going to do. If it breaks towards the downside, then our goal towards the downside is going to go towards the lower 2 cents and then back down to maybe even a penny once again for HBAR, which would be nuts. I really think that HBAR is going to probably get this bounce right here. Feeling hopeful about it. I mean, I can't let emotions into it, but just seeing that it is accumulated every time it's touched. So far, history has proven that it accumulates when it touches this area, this line. So good low area. Hopefully it could touch the top of this channel, take us to 2 cents or 41 cents in time, and then back up to 611, 0.66 cents. Man, what a beauty it was to see it there at 6 cents, but ever since then it just impulsed down. Doesn't really look like bearish pressure is really easing off. The R side looks not too friendly either. But The candle looking a little bit different. The VWAP telling a different story as well. We could be seeing some bearish pressure coming in. And if we close beneath this line, man, it could be bloody. Could be taking us down to early 2 cents. Down to 1.9 cents. What's up, everybody? Thanks to the 18 viewers, to the lurkers. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for your support. Alright, let's wrap it up. Let's check out. Let's go to Stellar. We'll do an XLM wrap up for tonight. Feel like I've been maybe throwing a little bit too much shade at Stellar. But I love this project. It's my second largest holding. XLM. Looking like it's going to complete this head and shoulders, man. We could be seeing a 6 to 5 cent XLM very soon, you guys, depending on if it's going to be creeping back up above to treat this support as support or not. And if it doesn't, then we're talking about going back down to around 5 cents per XLM. Guys, could be a crazy opportunity for some accumulation there. And then the quest and the journey upwards towards a possible 18-cent Stellar, maybe towards the end of the year. Gosh, man. Right now, this is the low area of accumulation zone, man. We've been accumulating since August for most of these, since September for most of these. Something's got to give. Maybe it does continue to go down. Maybe we do hit 5 cents. But still, that'll be an okay area of accumulation according to the fibs here. From the high to low, you would be going into the golden retrace zone of the 61.8. Still have a possibility to get your swing here, right? You have your lower low to the lower low. Get your swing towards the upside. So it's not game over just yet, but it does look like this head and shoulders could be coming into fruition right here for XLM. Bearish pressure may be easing off a bit. The R side looking pretty tantalizing. We're going to see how this ends up going, man. We got 15 more hours on this daily candle, right? So we'll see how this ends up closing. Hopefully it can close above the support. If it doesn't, maybe we can see a considerable drop back down to early 7 cents. Maybe even wake up in the morning to a 6-9 cent XLM. We'll see where this candle takes us. We'll see what the other side of the world is going to do with this price. Oh, 18-cent XLM will be amazing, my man. But you guys are amazing. Thank you to the Blue Crew. You guys rock. Thanks for the 29 likes. Thanks to the 18 viewers. Thanks for the $5 in donations. $6 in donations. Thank you, Legendary. Thank you, Paul Spaller. Thank you, Jason Geo. Thank you, Van Life Biker. Thank you, RPM. Daniel XRP, Miss C, Paul Spaller once again, Crypto Keeper, Miles Parker, Esper, thank you so much, Lady Enigma, Josh Garlinghouse, Jake Hill, Infinite Growth, Jeff. You guys are awesome. Thanks for tuning in with me for another DLT late night live stream. Thank you, Rain. Good seeing you, my man. Daniel XRP. Legendary. All of you guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much for your support. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Caesar, thanks for tuning in too. Jeff, see you guys tomorrow for a DLT crypto charts and news live stream. Appreciate y'all, and let's see where the markets are at, man. It's going to be Tuesday. It's going to be a big day tomorrow. Much love. You guys are awesome. You guys make this channel happen. Thank you, BTC community, XRP community, XLM community, DLT community, crypto community, all the communities out there. And guys, remember, I'll never tell you guys what to do. I'll just tell you guys what's up. And what is up is Space Chain, Reserve Rights, Civic, XDB in the past 24 hours. Past hour, it looks like we're getting some green though. Good sign right there, at least for the short term. Good way to end the stream. Alrighty guys, much love. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night, great day, wherever you are. Adios.